Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be on page 49. Translation, sorry. Okay, we're going to talk about both translations and constructions today on page 49. Today's date is the 14th. Our objective is to perform a translation. Okay, so first let's talk about performing a translation on a coordinate grid. Okay. So let's say I started with point T, and T is 1, 2, 3, 4. T is -4, 4. And I wanted to, let's name that something different. Let's name it P. Let's give it a P. Alright, so let's say I wanted to translate point P. So I wanted to translate P in the positive direction 5 and in the negative direction 2 of P. Well, that means that I would move 5 in X direction and -2 in Y direction. So 5 in the X direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And -2 in the Y direction, so that's down 2. There's P prime. So P prime would be 1, 2. And the fast way of doing this is you can simply do -4 plus 5 is 1, and 4 plus -2 is 2. So translating on the coordinate plane is pretty simple. So it's the translation in the X, Y direction of the pre-image that results in our image. So that's the notation. It's a little bit more complicated when we start to construct it using a compass and straight edge. And you will need that little half sheet I handed out today. Okay? So the first thing we need to talk about is a vector. A vector is a directed line segment with specific length and direction. So it's another name for a directed line segment. Okay. So I'm going to do the translation along vector AB, and that means I'm going from A to B, of line segment CD. And I'm going to do that right on this little guy right here. So you can take your notes off and put these on. So how do we do this? Well, it's a little bit more complicated than I'd like to admit. It's probably one of the more complicated constructions that we do. So to do this, we're going to start by drawing a line from A to C. Step 1. Okay? That's the first step. Alright, after I draw that line from A to C, I'm merely using that as a segment for me to measure later. So the first step after that is to measure from A to B. Step 1, measure A to B. So I first drew that segment just so that you guys would know what I was talking about later. So I'm going to measure from A to B, and I'm going to center a circle at C. Make sure this is all good. Center a circle at C with that radius. And I'm going to just draw the arc where I think C prime is going to end up. So it's going to probably end up along here. So I'm going to shift this whole entire line segment in the same direction and length as AB. So it's going to kind of go over to here. So I'm going to draw my arc kind of in that general area. Next, so I'm going to measure A to B. Next, I'm going to measure A to C. And I know that C prime is going to be the same length away from B as C is from A. So I'll explain more in a minute. Let me just do this real quick. So I'm going to go from A to C, measure that length, and make the same circle centered at B. Make sure it's truly in the center there. And that is where C prime is going to be. So why does this work? Okay, this works because, well, B is really so if I were to translate A along AB, along this vector, A would end up on B as its final resting place. So I know that if I were to translate C in the same direction and length, it's going to be AB distance away, the image is going to be AB distance away from C, so that's my first coordinate, so it's going to be somewhere along this circle here. And then it's C prime is going to be the same distance away from B as A is from C, because this length here, it's literally going to kind of like slide right down and land here. So I know those two lengths are important. So this is the information I'm using. C prime will be AB length from C, and C prime will be AB length, or excuse me, will be AC length from B. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing again, and again I'm going to draw just a little line from A to D so you guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to draw this segment here. You don't have to draw on yours, but I want to make sure that you guys know what I'm talking about when I say it. Okay. So I know D prime will be AB length away from D. And it'll be AD length away from B. I know that I've done the construction right if CD is parallel to C prime D prime. So here are my steps. Step 1. Make arc centered at C with radius AB. 2. Make arc centered at B with radius AC. the intersection is the image. And you know you've done it right if CD is parallel to C prime D prime. Which it is.